Imagine someone knew almost everything about you. They knew where you slept last night. They knew when you left home, where you went, and how long you stayed. They knew what you bought, what you watched, and which messages you answered right away. They even knew what you searched for when no one else was around. Maybe they knew the question you typed, then deleted before pressing send. If one person followed you closely enough to learn all of that, you'd probably call it stalking. But here's the strange part. No one person did. Your phone recorded one piece. Your car recorded another. Your watch noticed something else. Stores, cameras, websites, payment systems, and apps each collected a small part of the story. On their own, most of those details seem harmless. Some are genuinely useful, but bring them together and they can create something deeply personal. A portrait of your life that you never agreed to pose for. And now, artificial intelligence is learning how to read it. So what happens when technology begins to know you better than you know yourself? Every morning, millions of us reach for a phone before our feet touch the floor. We check the time, the weather, a message from work, or a photograph sent overnight. None of this feels dangerous. It just feels normal. We've repeated the routine so often that we barely notice it anymore. The phone finds the fastest route to work. A music app chooses a song that fits the morning. A store remembers something we left in a shopping cart. Then a video platform finds exactly the right clip to keep us watching for another 10 minutes. Useful? Absolutely. That convenience is real, and that's exactly why the exchange is so easy to overlook. The phone finds the fastest route to work. A music app chooses a song that fits the morning. A store remembers something we left in a shopping cart. Then a video platform finds exactly the right clip to keep us watching for another 10 minutes. Useful? Absolutely. That convenience is real, and that's exactly why the exchange is so easy to overlook. And each convenience seems to ask for very little. Our location, a contact list, a little browsing history, access to the microphone when it's needed, then one more cookie, one more permission, one more tap. Most of the time, the bargain feels reasonable. We get something useful now. The real cost is somewhere off in the distance. Complicated, uncertain, and almost impossible to see. There's no alarm, no obvious loss, and usually no reason to stop what we're doing. Privacy didn't vanish in one dramatic moment. We gave it away gradually, in exchanges that made sense at the time. Some for convenience, some for security, some for entertainment, and some because pressing accept was easier than trying to understand what we were accepting. For most of human history, forgetting happened on its own. An embarrassing comment faded from memory. A poor decision became a story known only to a few people. Someone could leave one place, begin again somewhere else, and slowly become someone new. Time softened the edges, and most moments eventually lost their power over us. Human memory was imperfect, but that imperfection gave us room to change. Digital systems remember differently. They can preserve a moment long after the people involved have forgotten why it mattered. A difficult year no longer has to remain in the past. Its records can follow the person who survived it. A photograph can remain long after the relationship around it is ended. A location record can preserve a journey you don't even remember taking. An old search, purchase, or conversation may survive without any of its original context. The internet doesn't remember everything. It doesn't have to. It remembers enough. And what it remembers can be copied almost endlessly. It doesn't grow tired, lose interest, or naturally let an old detail fade. That changes what privacy means. Privacy isn't simply the ability to hide something shameful. It's the ability to decide which parts of your life belong in which places, and who should be allowed to see them. We close bedroom doors and lower our voices for a reason. Not because we're doing something wrong, but because some moments belong only to us. Privacy gives those moments a boundary. You probably speak differently with your closest friend than you do with your employer. You might ask a doctor questions you'd never ask at dinner. You may explore an idea privately before deciding whether you believe it at all. That doesn't make you dishonest. It makes you human. We need places where an unfinished thought can remain unfinished. Without that space, every passing curiosity can look like a permanent belief, and every mistake can follow us long after we've learned from it. People need room to think badly before they learn to think clearly. Digital information has a way of escaping the moment that gave it meaning. A joke meant for a friend can be judged by a stranger years later. A medical search can become part of an advertising profile. A few minutes of late-night curiosity can be mistaken for a lasting belief. The record survives. The meaning around it often doesn't. The individual details may be accurate, and the story they tell may still be wrong. Because a person is more than a collection of recorded actions. We contradict ourselves. We change our minds. We behave differently when we're tired, frightened, lonely, excited, or simply bored. Any honest portrait of a human being has to leave room for that. Sometimes we click because we're interested. Sometimes because we're angry. Sometimes we're looking for someone else. And sometimes, if we're honest, we don't really know why we click. A computer doesn't need to understand every reason. It only needs enough patterns to predict what we might do next. One location point tells you very little. So does one purchase, one photograph, one search, one video paused halfway through. By itself, a single clue barely tells a story at all. But combine thousands of those clues over months or years, and the picture becomes clearer. The real power isn't in any one piece of information. It's in the connections between them. That's when scattered details stop looking like noise and start looking like a person. Your daily route can suggest where you live and where you work. Repeated visits may reveal friendships, religious practices, health concerns, political interests, or changes in a relationship. Even the time you stop using your phone may suggest when you sleep. No one has to hear a private conversation. Sometimes, routine says enough. This is where artificial intelligence changes the situation. Older systems were mostly built to store information. Newer systems are increasingly built to interpret it, to find relationships that are too subtle, too scattered, or simply too large for a person to notice. That sounds like a technical change. In practice, it changes the balance of power. A person may see a list of purchases. An algorithm may see a change in your habits. A person may see several late-night searches. A model can compare them with your location, your sleep pattern, your recent activity, and the videos you've watched. Suddenly, those searches are no longer separate. Together, they can suggest a change you haven't recognized in yourself yet. The system doesn't have to understand exactly what you're feeling. It doesn't have to know why you're anxious, lonely, angry, or uncertain. It only has to predict which message, price, advertisement, or piece of content is most likely to affect what you do next. And that prediction doesn't have to be perfect. It only has to work a little better than chance. Then, repeat that advantage across millions of people. Every response gives the system another opportunity to learn. At that scale, a small advantage can become enormously valuable. You pause over one video, so the system shows you another like it. You watch that one a little longer. Now it has learned something. The next recommendation changes. It watches what you do and changes again. Maybe you click a headline because it makes you angry. The system may not understand the anger. It simply notices that the anger held your attention. So it gives you more of whatever produced that reaction. Not because it hates you, because the pattern worked. Little by little, a system built to predict your attention can begin shaping the world you see on the screen. It decides what appears first, what disappears, what follows you for the rest of the day. At that point, the line between predicting behavior and influencing behavior becomes difficult to see. And from inside the system, the influence can still feel like our own choice. A map predicting your destination can help you reach a place you already chose. A platform predicting what will keep you emotionally activated is doing something different. One supports a decision, The other may quietly help create it. None of this requires an evil machine. There doesn't have to be a secret room filled with people watching our screens. Most data systems were built separately, usually for reasons that sounded completely reasonable. And that may be the more unsettling possibility. No one has to plan the whole system for the whole system to take shape. A navigation service wants to improve directions. A retailer wants to recommend useful products. A city wants to improve safety. A health application wants to recognize an important pattern. Each goal by itself can make perfect sense. The danger appears when reasonable systems are connected without reasonable boundaries. Information gathered for one purpose becomes useful for another. The original promise may stay exactly the same. The possible uses quietly expand around it. A face recorded for security can be matched to a name. A purchase made for convenience can become a prediction about health or income. A location shared for directions can reveal far more than a destination. The information hasn't changed. The way someone chooses to use it has. Once information begins moving between companies, brokers, databases, and automated models, an ordinary person has almost no way to follow it. You may not know where it went, who copied it, or how you could ever bring it back. Deleting the original account may not remove the copies or the conclusions already drawn from them. This is why saying, "I have nothing to hide," misses the point. You may have nothing to hide from the people you trust today, but privacy isn't only about today. It's also about power. Who holds the information? Who gets to interpret it? And can you ever say no? You can't know every person, institution, or algorithm that may interpret your information tomorrow. You can't know which rules will change, or which harmless detail may later be treated as important. Information that feels ordinary under one set of rules can become sensitive under another. And you can't always correct the conclusion that was made about you in secret. One system may decide you're a financial risk. Another may decide you're unlikely to remain in a job. Another may predict how much you're willing to pay. You may never know the conclusion exists. You may only experience the result, a higher price, a missing opportunity, an application that goes nowhere, a message that never arrives, no explanation, just a door that quietly stays closed. Sometimes, the most powerful decisions are the ones we never realized were made. But surveillance changes more than the way institutions make decisions about us. It can change the way we behave. Imagine having a private conversation in a crowded cafe. Someone nearby is wearing an ordinary-looking pair of smart glasses. You can't tell whether there's a camera inside. You don't know if the glasses are recording, identifying faces, transcribing voices, or doing nothing at all. You look once, then again. There's no way to be sure. But the uncertainty is enough. You lower your voice, you choose your words more carefully. Maybe you decide not to tell the story. Nothing was taken from you by force. You change your behavior because you might have been observed. That may be surveillance's quietest effect. People don't have to know they're being watched. They only have to believe it's possible. Once that possibility enters the room, it becomes part of every conversation inside it. When we feel observed, we become more careful. We avoid questions that might be misunderstood. We stay closer to accepted opinions. We begin performing a safer version of ourselves. And over time, that performance can start replacing something real. A society without privacy may still look free. People may still speak. They may simply stop saying what they actually think. From the outside, that silence can look like agreement. The loss is difficult to measure because so much of it consists of things that never happen. The question never asked. The unpopular idea never explored. The confession never shared. The version of themselves someone was too afraid to explore. There's no record of those missing moments. That doesn't make them unimportant. Privacy protects more than secrets. It protects experimentation. It gives us room to make mistakes without turning every mistake into a permanent identity. It lets relationships develop without an invisible audience. And it gives us space to become someone different tomorrow. For generations, Anonymity was an ordinary part of public life. You could walk through a city surrounded by strangers and remain unknown to almost all of them. You were visible, but not automatically identifiable. That distinction is beginning to disappear. Being in public once meant being seen by the people nearby. It didn't mean becoming searchable by people everywhere. Your face can connect the physical world to the digital one. A walk through a store can be linked to an online profile. A public conversation can become searchable text. Even a brief encounter can become part of a permanent record. A world where every face can become a name is different from a world with ordinary cameras. A world where every voice can become searchable is different from a world where someone might overhear you. And a world where scattered observations can become a detailed model of your behavior. Humanity has never lived in that world before. We're building it now, mostly through choices that still feel small and ordinary. The technology that could end privacy forever may not look threatening. It may look like a pair of glasses, a helpful assistant, a safer doorway, a smarter car, or a shopping experience that seems to understand exactly what you want. It may arrive with a friendly design and the sincere promise to make life easier. And the promise may be true. That's what makes this so difficult. The same system can be useful and intrusive at the same time. A tool can help find a missing person, while creating the ability to track everyone. A health model can detect an important pattern, while exposing something deeply personal. Both things can be true. We don't have to pretend these technologies offer nothing valuable. We simply have to stop pretending that value removes the risk. The choice isn't between accepting every new technology and abandoning technology altogether. The real choice is about boundaries. What can be collected? How long can it be kept? What can be inferred? And when the system gets it wrong, can a person challenge the decision? Those boundaries won't appear on their own. They have to be designed. They have to be defended. And they have to make sense to the people whose lives are being measured. Tonight, your phone may return to the same bedside table. It will charge quietly while you sleep. By then, it may know where you traveled, what you watched, which messages mattered, and what held your attention during the final minutes of the day. None of those details may seem especially important on their own, but somewhere beyond the screen, they can become part of a larger pattern, stored, compared, interpreted, and increasingly, predicted. Perhaps the technology that ends privacy forever won't be one invention. Perhaps it will be thousands of useful systems, built for understandable reasons, connected without anyone stopping to ask what the finished system had become. A system capable of producing a portrait from your routines, your relationships, your interests, your fears, your weaknesses, and your private moments. A portrait that keeps changing as you change. It may be incomplete. It may be unfair. It may even be wrong. But if institutions trust that portrait, its conclusions can still become real in your life. The final question isn't whether that portrait will exist. In many ways, it already does. The question is, who will be allowed to see it? Who will be allowed to use it? And whether you will have any say in the person it claims you are. The more we understand what shapes us, the more clearly we can choose who we become. If this gave you something to think about, subscribe to The Human Blueprint and join me for the next film.